Morning folks, so today I'm removing carburettors and airbox from my RF900. I'm doing this because I'm getting ready to valve clearance check, and this is a procedure that requires removing lots of components. So in this video I'm going to be removing the tank, airbox and carburetors. So first you remove those two bolts holding the tank. I imagine those will be a bit different in your motorcycle because I've actually changed it some time ago because I lost one of these. Due to my stupidity, it wasn't tightened enough and it went during the ride. Obviously you unscrew those two as well. There we go. So those two in my case are 10mm bolts. There we go. Now the thing is, you're going to have those two little rubbers here. What I do is I usually keep all of it together so I don't lose parts. Okay, up next you're going to have to turn your fuel tab into off position. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove the whole rear section, including the grab rail. And I imagine you don't have to do it to get your carbs off, because you can perhaps just bend this part a bit that way and then you're gonna wiggle the tap out, and I imagine you can take the tank off pretty okay. But I'm gonna be playing around with the settings of the shock anyway, so I need to take this off. So for my benefit I'm gonna remove the rear section completely. And so to do that you go ahead with Allen key. And you remove the grab rail first. There we go. Okay, now we're going to have a couple of screws to remove from the bottom of the rear section. So this is the first one, and then on the right you got the same thing here, right indicator, and you're removing that screw there. Alright, so the only thing holding the rear section on the motorcycle now is other mounting points, which are just over here. So to take it off is simply, there we go, the other one, and let's do the same on the other side. We are now almost ready to remove it. The one last thing that we need to sort out, this electrical connector here. This is the right hand side at the rear, and this is for your brake lights. So disconnect that and we will be able to remove the whole rear section. So you press on this here at the top and it nicely comes out. I can now remove the rear section. So there's a couple of things that you need to know before you start removing the tank. So as I said before, this absolutely has to be in off position. Why? Because you're going to be removing that top hose here. And then you've got a little screw just under that rubber. This is a 10mm screw. There we go. Hopefully you can see this. So this comes off, and that screw actually holds the tap assembly in the frame. So then you can push it away. And knowing that our tap is in the off position, we can remove the top hose. There we go. So now all we have to do is unplug this electrical connector, which by the way is for your fuel sender unit. So once you've done all that, you can now remove the tank. And by the way, this gizmo here is the famous pink wire. So by disconnecting that, you make your motorcycle a bit more powerful. So that's where it is. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the tank. Here we have it, your RF900 without a tank. So you can see carburettors here, airbox here. To get them out, you obviously have to remove the airbox. So the airbox is held on the motorcycle by those two mounting points on the side. So let's just take these off. Then you're going to have 4 little screws holding the airbox on the actual carbs. So this is the screw number 1. This is your second one. There we go, is the third one. And that's 4th.
A few moments later.
Okay man, so now using pliers, get those clamps off. And the other one here. And wiggle these hoses away. Okay, I'm gonna help myself using the screwdriver, just a gentle motivation on that hose to help it coming off. Okay, I should now be able to remove the airbox. Alright, there's one more hose to be removed, which is this here. Okay then, so we're nearly there. So those are the 2 throttle cables. This is the rear one, and behind you've got the front one. To remove those, you're gonna need a 10mm spanner, which you will use to turn this bit here. But the trouble is, when you turn it, the whole thing turns with it. So what I do is, I stick a screwdriver here, so I'm holding the bottom nut like this, and then I just can keep turning. If you need more torque, just use the wrench. Just a couple more turns. Okay. And that way you'll be able to take it off. So let's do the same on the other side. Just stick the screwdriver from the bottom to hold the bottom nut, and now turn it. There we go. Both came out. Okay, up next you've got to disconnect this hose here. So some extra motivation from a screwdriver. Okay, so this is the left side of the motorcycle. This is where your choke cable sits, and you don't actually have to unscrew this here, because you can simply wiggle the choke cable away just like that. Okay, so your carbs are now held by those tiny screws here. Okay, so this is the first one for the 4th carburetor, and then we've got this here for the first one. So let's start turning it. So this is for the first carb. Here's the second one. Hope you can see this. It's right there. And the last one just here. Okay, let's try to remove the carbs. So gently wiggle them out. To get them completely out, I'm going to have to remove the tick-over adjuster cable. Okay, so this is your tick-over adjuster. And to remove it, you simply unscrew that little screw here. And And there we go. Okay, so we're pretty much done. Now we have to remove the throttle cables. So if you pay attention what's going on here in the middle, I am gonna pull this up. You see, I can pull this up by my finger, and then I can simply wiggle this cable away. Come on. That's the first one done. Alright, so I've only got 2 more cables to release, so let me just show you how the choke cable is attached. So this is it here. And if you pay attention and look a little closer, there's going to be a little gap here in this mounting point. See this here? This little gap? And all you got to do is basically push it through. That's just very easy to remove. Grab the cable, and same principle. Just push it through that little gap, and then it's off. Alright, so here we have it. RF900 Carbs removed.